disability is called arthrogryposis. Basically, it means that one of my legs is shorter than the other. I've got reduced muscle power. The umbilical cord is wrapped around my legs in the womb, so it's not something they actually caught at the time. So it wasn't until after I was born that my mum kind of was like, oh gosh, she's got two older sisters as well, and she just knew something wasn't quite right. She's a strong woman, and she just said, look, something's not right here, and she really fought for me to get, the treatments and everything that I have done. But growing up with a disability where I'm from, I didn't really know anyone with a disability. If I did, it was on the very severe spectrum. So growing up, I didn't really understand what disability was. I saw it as almost like a negative thing, like, oh, she's disabled, oh. Whereas now that I discovered Paralympic sport, when I was 22 years old, I realized that my disability is such a strength, and it's, no longer, especially with the media surrounding Paralympic sport and the Commonwealth Games, it's not, oh, she's got a disability. It's, oh, cool. I wonder what her disability is, and it makes it inclusive. It makes it curious. It makes it exciting. And I think that's what sport does. It's such a great social tool that we can use to educate people about disability, even me.
In 2008, you had surgery to try and correct it,
yeah.
Which sounds extremely painful from what I've heard.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so I got my leg lengthened. People are doing that now to get a bit taller, which I wouldn't recommend. Don't do that, people. So I did it before my 18th birthday. So I managed to fit lots in, my 6-year holiday, went to Magaluf with my friends, stayed in the park, saw Amy Winehouse, incredible. And then I think it was the 7th of August, 2008, went in for the operation. I had a tibial and fibular osteotomy, which meant they basically broke my leg, my right leg. They broke it above the knee and below the knee. And below the knee, I had this frame put on. And every day I had to twist these struts, which pulled apart the bone and angled it in a way to help my leg appear straighter, to help me walk better. That was brutal because the steel is going through my bones, and they're like open wounds. Like for 6 months I had open wounds in my leg that you have to take care of every day. And once you get it off, I was on crutches again for a long time to try and help it heal. So yeah, it was a long process. It was pretty brutal actually, and it's a process that I decided to do on my own. So my parents were against it really, because they were very much in the opinion of, if it's not going to make you better, if you just look better, what's the point? Who cares if you look better? Will you be able to walk? Will you be able to participate in sport? Will you be able to be you? Is it worth it? And it was just one of those things, as a young 17-year-old, I was like, well, I think it's worth it. Obviously a young kid thinking no better, but luckily I was right. And honestly, I think it's one of the best things that I ever did. I love having a racket, a ball, anything in my hands. Like from a young age, that was me, that child in the room bouncing a tennis ball on their racket or whatever. And to get to go to university, where in here there wasn't really basketball around at that time, and it's something that's just always like excited me, and the ball going through the hoop, I just love it. So I tried it at university, loved it. And then it was a few years later, so 2013, I got in a chair for the first time, and yeah, love it first push, I think. Like a lot of people say, despite your disability, you've not done this, but it's because of my disability that I tried harder. I wanted it. I wanted to show I can do this. So what? I walk funny. So what? I've just beaten you at badminton. I've just beaten you at volleyball, whatever. And to me, like that was a real strength. To be physically better at sport made me feel good about myself when I was young. That was my confident place. And when I found wheelchair basketball, I was 24 when I really started to play properly for the first time. I got into the GB squad less than a year later, competing against young kids that were a lot better in their chairs than I was, but it's that mental resilience and toughness from years of being that disabled kid, having to try harder, getting slagged off for having a red face at lunchtime by my friends because I was just like, so, well, I've tried hard, so. And I honestly think that's what helped me progress from zero to Paralympic Games so quickly.
What did it mean to finally compete at Commonwealth Games?
again, 3x3 wheelchair basketball has never been in a Commonwealth Games. So the fact that it's even part of it, the Commonwealth Games for me was almost like one of those things, oh, maybe I could try a different parasport, like what could I try and do to compete for Scotland? I'm never going to get the chance to compete for Scotland. And lo and behold, you know, 2 Paralympics later, I get to put on that Team Scotland vest, and honestly, one of the proudest moments of my life. And just to have my family in the stands was something special that I hope we can redo again in Glasgow.
You met your wife through wheelchair basketball.
Yeah, well, fiance, we've been engaged with her for 6 years, but I'm not very organised. So I did the proposing. I thought that meant that she then organised it, but apparently that's not the case.
How important was it to have her watching from the sidelines at Birmingham?
Oh, incredibly important to have someone who understands completely that competitive environment, how I'm going to be feeling, knowing how to react. Usually, you know, we win if we lose. We win, we lose together, and we're both miserable or happy together. So to have her be in that different role, that supporting role, yeah, it was really nice actually. I really appreciated it.
I read a story that while at Birmingham, you both found out you were going to be parents in a Morrison's toilet.
Yeah, we did. So we got IVF, Laurie got IVF, I was there. And it's one of those things, you can't time it perfect. Like, there's no perfect time, especially in sport. And it's one of those things, you never know if it's going to be a positive result or not. And luckily for us, it was. But just the timing of it, it was a morning, we had a morning off, and she wasn't allowed to come into the village. So I had to go out. There wasn't really anywhere for us to go. So yeah, Morrison's, thank you. Really happy memory in a Morrison's bathroom. But it doesn't matter where it was. It's to have that moment during a game. I think we won that day as well, which was nice. Later on, we had a game we won. To be able to do that together, oh, it was fantastic. Like, to have that positive moment, there's nothing like it. And then obviously Alba was born. Yeah, Alba, as in Scotland. So, yeah, maybe we didn't name her that because that's when we found out, you know, representing Team Scotland, but it's definitely in homage to Scotland for sure. From a young age, obviously Laurie and I both still compete for GB. 4 months after giving birth, Laurie was back training, competing. She's incredible. I don't know how, it wouldn't be me. It couldn't be me. And we went to European Championships and she helped us qualify, helped the team qualify for Paris 2024. With Alba, she came with us. She was in our room at the tournament. She was in team meetings, team meals. She was our emotional support baby throughout that whole tournament. She's grown up in basketball. So she's been to Japan, China. She's been all over the world with our team. And to get her in Glasgow, Alba Love, I'm excited. Competing for Scotland is like nothing else. You know, as Scottish people, our culture, our togetherness, our doggedness, our energy, we are a great people, and to be able to surround myself with the Scottish community and really get backed by Scotland is incredible. The GB community, again, is special, like it's magical, but there's just something that the people of Scotland just really get behind us, and you can sense that when you're on court, you know, you can really feel it. And to have that again in Glasgow, at home games, bring it on.